So it is called as Vimshottari Dasha. Vimshottari means 20 plus. 20 plus means 20 plus from 100. So Vimshottari Dasha calculates a human lifespan as 120 years. And these 120 years are divided in different ways, in different proportions for each planets. So basically the idea of Veda, it is not just for astrology, for generally in Veda, it is believed that a person's maximum lifespan is 120 biological years. And inside that 120 biological years, the functional lifespan, where that person is functional, is 100 biological years. This is actually the calculation. And this is actually what divided into 9 planets, where each planet will have a better influence on this person's vibrations, in this person's frequency, while that planet is controlling that person. So we call the Vimshottari Dasha. It is 120 years divided into 9 planets, but it is not an equal division. The reason of inequality we will see. And it is divided in such a way that each planet will have its own major time spaces where that planet influence the person in maximum. So if that planet is actually a good planet, the person will experience the good times, a good life generally. And if that planet is a bad planet, then the person will experience general bad state in life. And also the planets will exert their influence in the time of one planet, but in a subplanet way. So a planet can influence a person either when that person is under the influence of that planet, the major influence of the planet, or as a minor influence in the time of the other planets. So in each time of a major influence planet, every other planet, all the rest of the planets, will have a minor influence time inside that. So if 20 years is actually the time of influence of the Venus, if that is the case, inside that 20 years, there will be years where Venus share the rule, or Venus share the rule in a lesser capacity with all the rest of the 8 planets. So together, so a planet that is controlling the major time, it's called as the Mahadasha. Mahadasha means that planet is actually the major planet which is controlling the base time. Inside that major time, there will be all the other 8 planets will have their own minor times also. And the major time is called as Mahadasha. And the minor time is called as Antardasha. And inside that minor time, we can even calculate further the minor times, which is called as the Pratyandar Dasha. But Pratyandar Dasha, it will be only valid in very rare circumstances. But majoritarily, the Mahadasha and the Antardasha is the ones which matter and which have the biggest impact. And each planet will try to shape a person in their own version, so that when I am actually going through Saturn's Mahadasha, it will be the Saturnian version of me. That version will that version be good or bad? That is up to my Saturn's position and my Saturn's strength. But Saturn will make me change in a Saturnian way. And after that Saturn, when the Mercury starts, there is an order we will discuss. But after that Saturn, when the Mercury starts, the Mercury change my frequency, that the same person will be vibrating in a slightly different frequency, which is corresponding to the Mercury. And after Mercury stops, Ketu starts. Ketu will try to make me vibrate in a way that is Ketuvian. So each planet in their Mahadasha give the version of you corresponding to that planet. So your Saturnian version will be in the Saturn Mahadasha. Your Ketuvian version will be in the Ketu Mahadasha. Like that, like that. Every planet influence like that. And there is an order in which each dasha is manifesting. And there is a very deep logic also is there for that order. And also it is based on which planet's major time will manifest first is based on the nakshatra in which the moon is situated, or basically the moon's position. So exactly based on the moon's position in a nakshatra, what is the position of moon in a particular nakshatra? Based on that, the order of the dashas will be determined. So if you are taking like the Ashwini nakshatra, what is actually the planet of the Ashwini nakshatra?
Ketu.
Ketu. So for Ashwini nakshatra, their Mahadasha will start from Ketu. So take Shravana nakshatra. What is the planet of Shravana nakshatra? We have already completed the nakshatras, I believe. What is the planet of Shravana nakshatra?
Moon?
Moon, correct, very correct. So if you are born in Shravana nakshatra, your Vimshottari Dasha periods starts from Moon. What is the planet of Chitra nakshatra?
Mars.
Mars. So for if you're born in Chitra nakshatra, your Vimshottari Mahadasha, your major planetary periods will start from Mars. And each planet has got its own number of years in the 120. Total it will be 120. But inside that 120, each planet has got its own number of years. If a planet is actually hot, if a planet is actually very virulent in its energy, because that energy will be lost very fast, a hot planet's Mahadasha will end in a small number of years. So because a hot thing, everything will move faster when it is hot. In the same sense, that planet's influence period will also be very fast if it is a hot planet. So of the 120 years, which planet do you think have the smallest of the influencing period?
Sun.
Obviously, that's perfect understanding. Sun. Sun has got the smallest of the smallest number of years will be for Sun, which is 6 years. And after that it is Mars, which is 7 years, Ketu, which is 7 years, And then the neutral planet Moon, which is kind of like 10 years. And then the slow planets are coming. Mercury, 17 years. Saturn, 19 years. Jupiter, 16 years. Rahu, 18 years. And Venus has got the maximum time, which is 20 years. So it is based on how fast they will release their energy. So if a planet is considered to be hot and Krura, it will release its energy very fast. And its Mahadasha will end in a very small period. But if it is Venus, Venus is cold and also it is a benefic. So it will release the energy very slowly. So Venus has got 20 years to manifest full of its destiny. Saturn, even if it is a malefic planet, Krura planet, it's a cold planet, very slow planet, cold planet. So it will release its energy very slowly. Because of that, its destiny will be manifested through 19 years. In the major period, in the Mahadasha period, that is the period when that planet manifests whatever destiny is supposed to be manifested by that planet. It mostly will manifest in the period of that planet. For an example, you have in your horoscope Ruchaka Mahayoga. Which planet gives Ruchaka Mahayoga?
Mars.
Correct. And that Ruchaka Mahayoga's major destinies will be manifested in the major period of Mars. It will also be manifested in a minor way in the minor periods of Mars. But the major aspect of that destiny will be manifested in the Mahadasha of Mars. So each planet has got this control to manifest their destiny. That is why the most lucky aspect in a horoscope is getting the dashas of planets which are having good destiny and not missing the dashas of planets which are having good destiny is considered to be luck. And missing the mahadashas of planets which are like really good is considered to be unluck. For an example, you are born. So I will speak about the order first, then it is easy to follow. So the order is
Dr. Vikas, is it possible to ask a quick question?
yes.
You just listed the planets and the years that they're taking up in the Dasha cycle. But why is Rahu and Ketu are so different? Ketu is 7 years and Rahu is 18, as if Ketu is hot and Rahu is cold. They're both Krura. Why such a difference?
the reason is like Ketu is hot and Rahu is cold.
How come?
Like Rahu represents the head part,
Mm-hmm.
which is thinking, calculating,
Mm-hmm.
understanding, sensing, all are slow process.
Mm-hmm.
Ketu represents the body part, which
Mm-hmm.
just act on impulses, instincts, and intuitions, which are fast actions.
Mm.
Because of that, one is Ushna and the other one is Shita. The Ushna Ketu will release its energy very fast compared to the Shita Rahu.
Mm-hmm. I see. Thank you.
So Ketu has got 7 years. After the Ketu, it is always Venus, 20 years. And after the Venus, it is always the Sun, 6 years. After the Sun, it is Moon, 10 years. After the Moon, it is Mars, 7 years. After the Mars, it is Rahu, which is 18 years. After the Rahu, it is Guru, which is 16 years. After that, it is Saturn, which is 19 years. After that, it is Mercury. It is 17 years. So this is the order. If you add that, it will be 120. That is why it is called as Vimshottari. Vimsha means 20. Uttari means after 100. So Vimshottari means after 100, there is 20. So 120. Now, this order is also corresponding to the nakshatra order. If you observe, first one is Ketu, which is connected with Ashwini nakshatra. Second is Venus, which is connected with Bharani nakshatra. Third is Sun, which is connected with Kartika nakshatra. Fourth is Moon, which is connected with Rohini nakshatra. Mars, Mrigashirsha nakshatra. Rahu, Ardra nakshatra. Guru, Punarvasa nakshatra. Saturn, Pushya nakshatra. And Mercury, Ashlesha nakshatra. Again, then it will be the 10th star. Ashwini's 10th star, which is Makha. Again, it starts from Ketu. So this is the based on the nakshatra order. And in every person, so if you actually start in, if you are born in, if you're born in Punarvasu nakshatra, where you will start? If you're born in Punarvasu nakshatra, in which Mahadasha you will start? Jupiter. Very correct. What will be the next Mahadasha?
Saturn.
Saturn. Shani. So first Dasha Jupiter, second Dasha Saturn. What will be the third?
Mercury.
So if you are actually born in Jyeshtha nakshatra, you will be born in which Mahadasha? If you are born in Jyeshtha nakshatra, Jyeshtha, you will be born in
Mercury.
Mercury. Perfect. And your fourth dasha will be
Sun.
So if you're born in Jyeshtha nakshatra, you will be born in Mercury Mahadasha. And your fourth dasha will be?
Sun, is it?
Exactly, Sun. Mercury, Ketu, Venus, Sun. So that order is very clear, I hope. And this order is actually, if you observe it very clearly, it is actually designed in a way that is helping the person. That means if you are actually getting, so there is Saturn's Mahadasha, which is generally bad for most of the people. But Saturn's Mahadasha will be not bad if you are actually using the Jupiter's Mahadasha that comes before that. If you can use the Jupiter Mahadasha for the Jupiterian activities like spirituality, wisdom, intelligence, things like that, then for Saturn Mahadasha is just an enhanced experience for you. But if you were in the shock of the Rahu, if you were in the momentum of the Rahu, and you kind of like misused the Guru Mahadasha, then Saturn is coming after the Guru to teach you a lesson. So Rahu Mahadasha exists, which is where people generally like connect with the world in its nice form. We generally say that Rahu Mahadasha is actually very good for activities like marriage, etc., which are making the person more connected with the world. And that Rahu Mahadasha exists as a consolation for the Mars Dasha. So if you're going through the Mars's terrible 7 years, provided Mars is bad for you, then Rahu will act like a break period of break, where you will not achieve anything, but you will feel like something is that pressure is less. But if you stick in that comfort, if you kind of like consumed by that comfort, then you will not be able to use your Guru Mahadasha. And if you're not using your Guru Mahadasha, immediately you will get punished in the Saturn Mahadasha. This is how Saturn is becoming capable of punishing us. But if we are actually gone well through the Guru Mahadasha, so that the Saturn's Mahadasha was very easy for us, then, and if we gained the wisdom that is provided by the Saturn in the Saturn Mahadasha, then the Mercury Mahadasha is the time where we propagate, we share, we connect that wisdom to others.
Dr. Vikas.
Yes.
May I ask just one quick question? Because you said if you use the Guru, the Jupiter Mahadasha properly, what do you mean by that? How should we use that?
Jupiter's Mahadasha is used by Jupiterian activities like spirituality, education, learning, understanding, connection with old people, wisdom, getting proper consultation, getting a proper teacher. These things are the Guru Mahadasha.
And if your Jupiter is kind of malefic or not very good in your horoscope, then it still helps a lot to do all these things, right?
Yes, it will, but we should be very careful that we are actually meeting the right people, getting the right wisdom, getting the right directions, because that Jupiter is, if that is a malefic, basically it will have a tendency to give you a negative destiny rather than a positive destiny. Okay. So, of course, doing these things are actually very good, but still we should be careful that it is not coming as a negative destiny for us. So if you're actually doing Jupiterian things in a Jupiter Dasha, that is correct thinking. But if that Jupiter is a malefic for you, you need to be extra careful when you're doing that.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Dr. Vikas, I have a question about Rahu and Ketu period. Since I remember you said that Rahu and Ketu are not very influenced by the sign they're placed in, how do we understand if they're weak or strong and what kind of period it will be? But in general, I hear that people are fearing Rahu or Ketu period. And now you said that it's actually a consolation and
Rahu.
It's good.
I said Rahu.
Yes.
I didn't
Rahu,
say
yes.
good, but consolation, yes.
Yeah. So how do we evaluate their strengths or weakness, and how do we predict what the period will bring for Rahu and Ketu?
Like for Rahu and Ketu, Rahu is the period of illusion, and Ketu is the period of breaking of illusion, or like Rahu is the period of positive illusions, Ketu is the period of negative illusions.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no strength or weakness for the illusion because it itself is an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the advantage is that certain positive illusions are very helpful when we are in a traumatized state, or like when we are actually in a like a difficult state. For an example, if a child hit the leg in a wall or something, then the mother will give a lot of illusions for the child,
Right.
so that it helps the child to overcome that state of pain, state of trauma. But later, to understand that all of these are actually illusions. And that understanding ideally comes in the Guru period, which is coming immediately after Rahu. That is why immediately after Rahu, Guru period is very essential. Because otherwise we will sustain that illusions to the Saturn period. And Saturn is really famous for making people suffer if they are living in illusions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
So for a lucky person, he will get good Mahadashas in the beginning and mostly miss the bad Mahadashas. For an unlucky person, he will get the bad Mahadashas in the beginning. So by the time the good Mahadasha reaches, he will be completely broken to utilize that. For a neutral person, the good Mahadasha and the bad Mahadashas come interchangingly, giving us hope and despair at the same time. So that is the base idea. And regarding the yogas and good results of like the planets or bad results of the planets, that is based mostly the planets give their results in their Mahadasha period or in their Andardasha period or in their Pratyandardasha period. That is a time for them, that is a time assigned for them to give the results. So their destiny will be manifested mostly in that time. So if you have a destiny to write a book, which time do you think that it has got a better probability to manifest?
Mercury period,
Or
Jupiter,
or
Venus.
or
I don't know.
moon.
Why is Moon creative in the writing sense?
Moon is creative in every sense. So all the answers you said is actually correct, plus moon. If you have a destiny to be like getting into an accident, what period you should suspect it most?
Ketu,
Mars.
Mars.
Yeah, both correct. And Saturn. Yes, that's a very good question. Should we consider Saturn Mahadasha? Is it good or bad? Saturn Mahadasha, it is becoming good or bad based on the position of Saturn in your horoscope. That means if Saturn actually is your Yoga Karaka, imagine. You understand the concept of Yoga Karaka? Any planet that gives a better result compared to the others, that is called as Yoga Karaka. So generally a planet get the title of Yoga Karaka if it controls a center or a trine without the rulership of a Dusthana. Dusthana is actually 6, 8, and 12. If a planet is getting the control of a center and a trine, or a trine without the control of a Dusthana, that become Yogakaraka. That planet is called as Yogakaraka. So for Aries ascendant, Sun is a planet which controls a trine and it does not have the ownership or the rulership of any Dusthanas. So for Aries ascendant, Sun is the Yogakaraka. For Taurus ascendant, can you find a planet which controls a center and a trine, or a trine without having the rulership of a Dusthana? For the Taurus ascendant, Rishabha Lagna. For Rishabha Lagna, the planet that controls a trine and a center is there, which is, trine means Trikona, the first and fifth and ninth house. Center means Kendra, the first and fourth and seventh and 10th houses. For Taurus ascendant, there is a planet which controls a center and a trine, which is Saturn. Because Saturn controls, for Taurus, the ninth house, which is Capricorn, and Saturn also have the lordship of the 10th house. So for Taurus ascendant, Saturn controls the ninth and the 10th houses. So Saturn become Yoga Karaka for Taurus ascendant. So now which planet will be Yoga Karaka for Leo ascendant? Any guess? Perfect. Mars. Why? Why Mars? Mars is the correct answer. Why?
Because Mars owns the ninth and the fourth house.
Correct. For the Cancer ascendant, for the Cancer ascendant, how it is Venus? Venus controls
Also Mars,
also Mars for
the fifth and the 10th house.
10th houses. For Cancer ascendant and for the Leo ascendant, the Yoga Karaka planet is Mars. Yoga Karaka means the planet of opportunity, the planet that gives you maximum opportunity in life. Because of that, generally we will say like placement of every planet is important. But in a life to be like generally successful, it's very important the placement of the Yoga Karaka. For a Cancer ascendant getting a very bad Mars, for a Leo ascendant getting a bad Mars, Taurus ascendant getting a bad Saturn, is more impactful than for maybe like a Sagittarius ascendant getting a bad Saturn. Because the opportunity, what will be the Yoga Karaka of Sagittarius ascendant? Thanus. What will be the Yoga Karaka of the Thanus ascendant, Sagittarius? It will be Sun. For Sagittarius ascendant, the Yoga Karaka is Sun. So the placement of Sun is very important. How strong the Sun is, how nicely it is placed. These are important for everybody, but for Sagittarius ascendant, for Aries ascendant, and then for Leo ascendant, it will be more important than the others because Sun is more connected to these three signs. Is it understandable?
Yes.
Okay. So that is called as Yoga Karaka. So for if a planet is actually a Yoga Karaka in your horoscope and it is nicely placed, its dasha will be full of opportunities. Its Mahadasha will be full of opportunities. For an example, a Taurus ascendant, the Yoga Karaka is Saturn, and the Saturn actually is in a nice position. That Saturn's dasha will be super good for them. Really good for them. Full with a lot of opportunities. If it is not nicely placed, then the results will be very weak. Like not strong. Because nice placement, not bad, not bad. Like it is a missed chance rather than a dangerous thing. So if your Yoga Karaka is in a bad position, you miss a lot of chances. It does not allow your life to manifest in a full form. Because the manifestation of life in the world, not inside you is Lagnesha, your Lord of Ascendant. But your manifestation of life in the world is definitely connected with your Yoga Karaka. So if it is in a bad position, you miss your Yoga Karaka. Basically, that dasha will be neutral, very neutral, not negative in that sense, but there will be a lot of missed opportunities of manifestation. But if that Yoga Karaka is nicely placed, and it is the Yoga Karaka, and it is nicely placed, its dasha will be the maximum rewarding for the person. Nice placement is different for different planets. I think that you know.
Do you mean if they're strong or weak by the placement in the sign or something else?
Their placement will be like in for if it is Saturn, it is placed in the third house, it is placed in the 11th house, it is placed in the sixth house. That is nice placements for Saturn.
Only that, you mean?
Yes. But if it is not strong, your condition, if it is not strong, then basically it means that if like it is strong, not strong, its efficiency or like its results will be also very less. Like a strong planet may give you gold, a weak planet may give you a stone. It will give, but it will give accordingly.
What are the houses of Mars? Mars prefers?
This will be in the note of the Mars.
Thank you.
I suggest reading the planet's note again for understanding of that in the Vimshottari Dasha. Mars is actually good in 3, 6, 10, and 11 houses.
Dr. Vikas, would you tell me what is the Yoga Karaka of Gemini ascendant? Or did you say it already?
No, I have not said.
Okay.
What do you think will be possible to be the Yoga Karaka for Gemini?
Could be Mercury.
I'm not hearing it.
Could it be Mercury? No. Yes, it could be Mercury, right?
Why?
Because it's ruling Kendra and it's not ruling any Dustana.
Very correct. But
I'm
for
not sure
a planet to be really Yoga Karaka, it should rule a trine and not rule a Dustana.
You mean Trigona house?
A Trikona.
Is Mercury ruling a Trikona house or not?
For Gemini, do you think Mercury rules a Trikona house or not?
Trikona is 159, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 1.
Exactly.
First.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for that is the advantage or disadvantage of the planet Mercury. It is its own Yoga Karaka. You may have seen people who just come into a place, try to bring opportunities for themselves. Like they will try their best to create things better for themselves. Like they will connect to others, they will make everything in their capacity to change the things favorable for them. You may have seen those people, and all of them, if you check their horoscope, they will have strong Mercury. Strong Mercury has got the tendency, because it does not have a Yoga Karaka, it does not expect anything from come outside. Because of that, it always will try to be its own Yoga Karaka. And this is also true for Virgo, the sign Virgo. It is also Mercury. It is also its own Yoga Karaka. But for Virgo, there is a candidate that can be a Yoga Karaka, which is Venus. Venus is a candidate for Virgo's, in Virgo's case, Yoga Karakatva, but generally it will not manifest because Venus is contrary to Virgo's energy. So in Gemini's case, definitely Mercury is the alone Yoga Karaka. In Virgo's case, it is Mercury mostly, but a bit of Venus also is the Yoga Karaka. And inside a dasha, there will be like major dasha and minor dashas. The strength and the health of the minor dashas will be based on how that planet is connected with the major dasha planet. For an example, in Venus dasha, Mercury's minor dasha generally will be good. Why? Because Venus and Mercury are friends. In the Venus dasha, Mercury's minor dasha will be generally good. What about Venus dasha and Sun's minor dasha? Venus Dasha, Sun's minor Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha. Shukra Mahadasha, Surya Andar Dasha. Venus Mahadasha, Sun Andar Dasha. What will be for Virgo? Venus rules the second and the ninth. Because of its rulership of the ninth, and second is not a Dusthana. Because of that, there will be a bit Yoga Karagata for the Venus. But mostly it will be Mercury. Again, coming to the previous question. Venus's Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha. Will be good or will be bad?
I'm just guessing, Dr. Vikas, about the Ushna and the Shita qualities.
Very, very nice and nuanced way of guessing.
I think it will be a bad time because Venus and Sun is enemies. They are enemies.
Exactly. Sun and Venus are enemies. So Venus's Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha generally will be bad. Why I'm saying generally a lot is because it will also depend upon the relative positions of the Venus and Sun. If Venus also in a good position, Sun also in a good position in a horoscope, it will be not bad. It will be in a sense good. But if we don't know their relative position, then also we can have a level of prediction that it will be bad.
But may I ask, what about Rahu and Ketu? Do they have any enemies or friends or not? If you're in the Rahu Mahadasha, then you cannot say if the Antardasha is good or bad. Because
No, it will be generally following the Rahu's path. In the Rahu Mahadasha, which time will be the most bad?
probably Rahu Ketu.
Very correct. Very
But I
correct.
don't know
Because
why
that is when
actually.
you are actually completely senseless. Rahu's Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha, will that be good or bad?
I don't know.
It'll
I
be
was just
terribly
guessing.
bad.
Bad. Okay.
Yeah, because Rahu actually has got the most antagonistic connection with the Sun because of its eclipse.
Ah, okay. Mhm.
So Rahu Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha, and Sun's Dasha, Rahu Andar Dasha, both are kind of like eclipse.
Mhm.
I hope you are understanding.
Yes. But my question was Rahu has no enemies or friends, right? Is that true?
That is true. No,
Oh.
it's not like true. Rahu has got no friends. That is more true
Uh-huh.
because Rahu kind of like diminishes the light of every other planet because of that every planet is in a way not like emotional enemies but are functional enemies. Sun
Mhm.
and Ketu the same, but Sun and Ketu and Sun and Rahu is quite different in one thing. Can you guess what is it? Sun and Ketu should be similar to Sun and Rahu, but mostly people will not feel that much.
I think that Ketu hits harder,
True,
maybe.
true. But like the negativity that is felt in the Sun Rahu will not be felt in that way in Sun Ketu. Why?
Because Ketu and Rahu, they were actually one person, so they are not enemies, right?
No, I'm not asking about Rahu Ketu. My question is,
Okay.
Rahu's son will be a bad dasha. Rahu dasha son's Abhara will be a bad state.
Mhm.
Ketu's son should be equally bad, but it will not be felt that bad by people, and the reason is like why?
Maybe because both are hot. Ketu and Sun are hot planets.
Yeah, you are actually almost getting close to the result.
Maybe they have similar energies.
Yeah, yes,
I
in a
don't
way,
know.
yes.
I don't know.
It's very short. Ketu Dasha, Sun's Andar Dasha is actually very short time.
Ah,
Exactly.
yes.
Very
Ah, okay.
short. Ketu is 7 years, Sun is 6 years. So it will pass in 2-3 months. So you will not feel any major change. By the time your understanding regarding that change, the next Dasha would have started. But the only way that Ketu Sun can trouble is accident. But the ways Rahu Sun can trouble is life breaking, like destruction of relationship, destruction of personal dignity, tendencies of suicide, many are there for Rahu and Sun. Rahu Moon won't be as bad as Rahu Sun. No, it won't be. Because Rahu and Moon share like a similarity. So it will be not as bad as Rahu Sun, but it will be like very bad still.
I have a question, Dr. Vikas. Like I have a few accidents in my life that I kind of retain the date and time even. And if I want to understand a little bit more about it, would it be better to dig in like in dashas to see what influenced that time? Or maybe the Nitya Yoga would be the better place to understand better? What would be the best approach?
No, Dasha. If you
Dasha.
want to understand like that, Dasha is the best thing. Or otherwise, there is one more thing which we should say this after that, which we call the Gochara. Gochara is like there are certain planetary transits which affect person badly, irrespective of the Dasha. One example is what we call the Sadesadi. Sadesadi is actually happens, it means 7.5 years. How the under dashas are defined and calculated. If just like the dashas are shared in the same proportion, you share the years of that major dasha. Just like, for example, Venus is 20, um, like 20 years in 120. So 1/6 of the total time is for Venus. So in each dasha, Venus will have a 1/6 of time for its Chandra dasha. That means Sun's dasha is actually 6 years. Sun's dasha, Venus's Chandra dasha will be 1 year, 1/6 of that 6 years. Is it clear? Or otherwise, you can use software. It's much easier. Now, regarding the Gochara, two Gocharas are only important in the base course, maybe three. One is actually Gochara means positions from moon sign. So whenever Saturn is actually moving in the 12th, in the first, and in the second house of your moon sign, very important, Saturn is transiting, like right now, like Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is transiting through Pisces. So for people who are having the Pisces moon sign, or Pisces ascendant, Pisces moon sign, they are going through a period called Sadesati, which is 7.5 years of Saturn. So for Pisces moon sign people, that Sadesadi started 2.5 years before. Now it is running and it will be there for 5 more years. So total 7.5 years of Sadesadi. So if your moon is in Pisces in your horoscope, if your moon sign is Pisces, you are now having Sadesadi. And it will be a generally bad period, irrespective of the rest of the things. Unless your Saturn is so good in your horoscope, it will be a bad period. Another Gochara is when Jupiter is transiting. Right now, Jupiter is transiting through Gemini. So if that Gemini is 8th house from your moon sign or 12th house from your moon sign. So if Jupiter is transiting from the 8th house or 12th house from the moon sign, that also is a bad Gochara. So these bad Gocharas will have a better like tendency to generate accidents. So they should be checked first, and then after that it is the dasha. Nitya Yoga rarely makes like an accident. Generally, it can make life itself as an accident, but otherwise, like an individual accident is very rare.
Thank you. Very helpful.
So these two gocharas. One more gochara to be calculated moon sign from moon sign is when the Rahu and Ketu are in the 8th house. When Rahu is in the 8th house or Ketu is in the 8th house, that time also is an generally bad period. So for if your moon sign is actually Aquarius, if your moon sign is actually Pisces, if your moon sign is actually Aries, you are now going through a life changing period in your life. You are the one who determines, or your Saturn is the one who determines whether that life change will be a positive one or a negative one. But you are going through that. Yes, because it is Sadesati. Sadesati is a life changing time. But based on our ability to respond to that, based on the position of the Saturn, it can be a positive life change or a negative life change. But life will change, and that is for sure. In the time of these gocharas happening, in the time of Sadesadi, in the time of Ashtama Guru, in the time of these gocharas are happening, you are having a favorable Mahadasha. If you're having a favorable Mahadasha when these gocharas are happening, the negativity of that will be diminished. But if these gocharas are happening and you are also having an unfavorable Mahadasha, that is a bit difficult. Basically, Mahadashas show the time that is inside you, and the gocharas, the transits, show the time that is outside you. So Mahadashas are speaking about your internal clock, your biological clock, your inner clock. But the Gochara is speaking about the external clock, the calendar, the almanac. So that is the difference between both of them. So an external thing like an accident should first check in the transit and then in your inner dasha. Can Ketu Andardasha Mahadasha be good in any ways? Any of you are here who have gone through Ketu, or maybe you don't know. Ah, Ketu is such an incredible planet. Ketu Dasha, Ketu does not have eyes or ears or anything like that. It cannot see. It is not logical. That is the biggest thing of Ketu. It does not have a brain, but it have a heart. So it is not logical. It is emotional. It is instinctual. So it's a purely animalistic dasha. Because of that, Ketu dasha generally is like a bull in a china shop. It does not know what exactly it is doing. So forget about the person who is going through the Ketu dasha. Ketu itself does not know what exactly it is doing. It's not. I am right. If you are going through Rahu Ketu, that will be the state. It is already uh, clearly written. So if you are going through Ketu Dasha, you cannot calculate, you cannot predict, you cannot actually assess because there is no eyes, there is no ears. You are not seeing the right thing. You are not listening to the right thing. You are not thinking in the right way. You don't have the even the devices to do these things. Because of that, there will be a lot of unexpected things in the Ketu's time. Basically, Ketu Dasha is a time to suffer. The alignment is in such a way that how much you suffer the Ketu in the Ketu Dasha, that much good will be the Venus's Dasha. Because that is why Venus immediately comes after Ketu. Because if Venus is not coming after Ketu, by the end of the Ketu, a lot of people will decide to leave the earth. So Venus actually prevents that probability by its charm. But generally, it is a senseless time. We generally say ahetu ko hi ketu. That means Ketu does not need a reason. For example, like you are getting you're falling in Saturn's dasha. Saturn will only make you fall if you're not looking into the ground, if you're not putting your steps correctly. There will be some reason for that falling. In the Ketu, you will just walking and suddenly, ajanak, you will fall down. There will be no reason particularly for your fall, but that is Ketu. Yes. Number 3 is Rahu Ketu in the 8th house, from Rahu Ketu transiting in the 8th house from your moon sign. Right now, Rahu is transiting in the Aquarius, Ketu is transiting in the Leo. And right now, you have that Gochara. If from your moon sign, either Leo or Aquarius is 8th. Yes. Any questions?
Dr. Vikas, you said that Rahu moon will be less bad than Rahu sun.
Slightly less bad.
Slightly less because Rahu and moon share similarities?
Yes. Yes. And also, the period will be longer. No? Moon has got 10 years. Sun only has got 6 years. So the period will be longer so that the intensity will be less.
Okay. How are Rahu and moon similar?
No, I didn't said they are similar. I said moon has got 10 years, Rahu has got 18 years. So Rahu moon will be a bit more stretched period than Rahu sun. Because of that, the Rahu moon will be, as it is coming in a bigger stretch of time, the intensity will be lesser. Yes, Jupiter in the 8th from the moon, Jupiter in the 12th from the moon. Both are bad times. And the connection between the Rahu and the moon is the mind and Rahu is the desire. Any questions? It's very important to understand the Vimshottari Dasha because that is the maximum important thing to show when will it happen. Like for example, you're actually somebody's horoscope has got a lot of nice Venus in say second house or 11th house. Nice Venus in the 11th house should make a person wealthy. So if that person is asking why I am not wealthy, when I will be wealthy, you should check the Vimshottari Dasha and see where exactly the Venus's Mahadasha is coming. And if that Mahadasha is far away, you should see where Venus's Antardasha is coming. And you should say that this is the period for you to be wealthy. So if they are actually going to take a lottery ticket or something, or if they plan to do something connected with the wealth, that is the time to do that. Any questions?
Dr. Vikas, I only have a question which is not related to today's. It's because of the videos which you send to us. Will they be also available for us when we finish that course? I mean, if I don't have time now to listen to the videos, will I be able to listen to the videos also in June or July, or is
For
it
the 6 months, it will be available at least
for 6 months after finishing this course?
after finishing the course.
Okay,
But
thank
you
you
can
very
also
much.
download and keep them so that you can use that every time.
Ah, okay, good. Thank you.
Dr. Vikas, have you given us a document? Because I see in the advanced course we have a document that I think is on Gochara that shows like which planet goes well in which house. But in this class, I don't think we've received a document that says what the effect of the planet in each house will be. Is that something we'll cover or?
Like a detailed Gochara is not a subject of this class. That is why it is not given here.
I'm sorry, I should rephrase. In this class, will we discuss the effect of each planet in each house and receive a document on that?
Of the position or the Gochara?
No, the actual position.
Actual position we have given.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't see it anywhere. Maybe I'll ask in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, you ask, like you will get an answer definitely. How important is Pratyandar Dasha? Pratyandar Dasha is important, but it will be so small. So, like for a momentary activity, like you are doing something not for long term, but for short term, Pratyandar Dasha is taken for that. It is mostly used for finding the auspicious time, inauspicious time. That is where the Pratyandar Dasha is mostly widely used.
I heard that this Pratyantar Dasha is also used for um, finding out when is the best time to create a new business. Is that right?
Yeah, that is what I said. Like for finding the proper time, that is what where the Pratyandar Dasha is used maximum, rather than understanding a predictive thing.
And in this software, I didn't find it, the Bhukti or the Pratyantar Dasha. Where do we find it? Where is it written?
This I am not able to say because I don't know which software you are using.
Oh, okay, good.
That's a good question. First Mahadasha starts with the planet which rules that person's nakshatra. That is true, and the Andardashas are always in the coming in the order of that planet. That means if you are actually starting from Venus, the first Andardasha will be Venus's Andardasha. Venus. The second Andardasha will be Venus, Sun. The third Antardasha will be Venus, Moon. Like that, in that order itself, it will go. For each planet in the Mahadasha, the first Antardasha will be that planets.
Dr. Vikas, you said earlier today that in our files on the planets, we can find which planet likes to be located in which house. But I don't see it there, and I actually never seen it there. Can you
There
point
is
out?
one note where the results of each planet in the each house
House. Yeah, like the
is there.
planets in the house.
Yes,
In
like
that
just
note,
that.
it's
Just one note is like that. If that is not there in the group, I will share that again.
I'll take a look on that note. Thank you.
Dr. Vikas, may I ask one more question? Because you said Yoga Karaka gives a very good time in this dasha. Are you still here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because you said it's a good time in the dasha of the Yoga Karaka. What if this Yoga Karaka is in the 8th house and is weak?
That is
Is it
called
still?
unlucky.
That's unlucky. Okay.
It is the destiny of bad luck.
Okay,
You
but you
losing
have
Yoga Karaka means that the person's ability and the person's opportunities will not have any connection. So they will not get the opportunities that they deserve inside the world.
But there are remedies for that, right?
Yeah, you need to take out that planet from that house.
Take out.
Yeah, that means you need to access the energy of that planet. If a planet in the 8th house, its energy become inaccessible. That means you lose your Yoga Karaka. And you need to regain your Yoga Karaka in different ways. In the Ketu Dasha, in the PDF, Moksha is mentioned. It's completely opposite to what you just spoke of. How to understand that? How it is opposite exactly? Yes, no problem. It is illogical that it does not have a brain, definitely, and that is the exact quality that you need for moksha also. That means you should stop all the processes, all the thoughts, all the thing that comes from the brain, which is leading you to thoughtlessness. And Ketu is actually the planet that can give that thoughtlessness maximum easily compared to any other planet, because it normally have a tendency to not think. So a non-thinking, like completely like deleting the thoughts, is much easier in Ketu compared to any other planet. I hope it is understandable. But the difference is of the awareness. For an example, if you just take a small child, and if you take an enlightened person, they will be very similar. They will be very similar in their acts and actions. But the only difference is the difference of the awareness. It's I will not say it is good to go, because it is to say that it is good to go, we need to know that Ketu is in a nice position. Then it is good to go with the intuitions and the impulses. But otherwise, bit careful. A bit of care is needed. Okay. Any questions?
Dr. Vikas, Namaskaram. I just have a question about what you just said now. That Ketu is, it's the no brain, so illogical, no thinking, and that is a quality that is actually good for enlightenment because it's opposite to thinking and logical.
Mhm.
But isn't Ketu also a time when there is no like conscious, rational, constructive thinking, but you are assailed by a lot of thoughts, a lot of the mind is assailed by a lot of activity, which is maybe senseless. And so that is disturbing. It's also disturbing the potential for enlightenment.
Yes, definitely yes. Like there is a lot of fears. Ketu is actually the planet of fears, and in its dasha it provides wide variety of the fears, but it also give us a way to overcome, to go beyond those fears. So it
Okay.
gives the fears and also it gives an exit from the fears. Moksha is basically like exiting from the fear. So Ketu actually surfaces the fears that we are having from a long samskaras of many life, providing us a chance to exit from all of that fears.
Okay. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Ketu's avatar is actually Malsya, like the Malsya avatar.
Yeah.
It is like you go to the deep of the ocean and bring everything to the surface and with awareness. And if you're bringing that things up to the surface with awareness, it will become completely exiting from you. Ketu is actually an exit door which can open. That is why it is moksha. But most of the times it will be not open. That is also the truth.
So that depends on the position and strength of your Ketu, I suppose, in the
And the
horoscope.
work that you're doing on that Ketu.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Other than Rahu and Sun, like to understand a bad combination, general bad combination, just check whether they are friends or not. Planets which are not friends will have a bad combination. Thank you.
Would you say, okay.
Yes, ma'am, please ask.
Would you say that Rahu and Mars is as bad as Rahu and Ketu?
No, Rahu and Ketu are more bad than Rahu and Mars.
But Rahu Mars is similar, right?
But Mars is having sense, which Ketu does not have.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Vikas.
you. Thank you, Dr. Vikas.